Alright, this is going to be a quick demonstration on deploying a Plex server on Microsoft Azure using Azure CLI for PowerShell. The infrastructure for this will consist of an Azure blob storage and an Azure container instance built from a deploy-aci YAML file. First, we're going to download Git for Windows. You can run through all the defaults for this, and then click Install. Click Finish when it's done, and then we're going to download Azure CLI for PowerShell. Accept the terms and then install. When that's done, click Finish. Then we're going to install the AZ PowerShell module. To do that, run PowerShell as an administrator. And then set your execution policy to something that allows you to install that. That can either be unrestricted or remote sign. I'm going to do unrestricted. Say yes to all. Then we're going to install the module with install module. This one's going to take a second. First, it's going to ask to install NuGet, say yes. Oh, looks like I messed that up. Let's try that one more time. Say yes to all. Alright, when that one's done installing, we can start downloading our scripts and templates from this GitHub repository I made. To do that, and to make it a little bit easier on myself, I'm gonna make a directory under C called Docker, and then move into Docker. Then we'll run git clone, and then cd into that directory. Cool. Next, we're gonna log into our Azure account. We're gonna have to do this twice. After you log in, you get this page. You can minimize this and go back to PowerShell and then type in connect-azaccount. We're gonna log into Azure one more time. After you log in and get this response, you're good to go, and we can move on to running our PowerShell script. Let's take a look at that real fast. This AZ create plex accounts. I'm gonna edit that, and this is gonna create a resource group, a storage account, and a share associated with that storage account. Most of these are pretty standard. One thing I might want to change is how big the share is. This one's only 20 gigabytes because it's for a test. And then the access tier is hot, so we have fast storage. You might want to create 2 of those, just so you have maybe one for configuration files and then one for your movie data or whatever else you put on there. Cool, so to run that, we're going to do \az create plex accounts ps1. Let that run. See there, just created a resource group called Plex. When it's done running, it's going to give you a little output at the bottom. I'm going to copy that and put it into Notepad. And then I'm going to edit my deploy-aci file. And what I need is my key. I'm going to put that down here where it says storage account key. Do that twice, and then the same thing for storage account name. And in theory, you'd probably want to make two separate share names here, but I only did the one Plex share. Then we need a unique DNS name. I'm going to call it Plex and then some numbers. And then we need a claim code from Plex, and you get that by going to plex.tv/claim. See in here. I'm going to copy that in. I'm going to save that file, and then I'm going to deploy the container with az container create resource group. I'm going to define whatever I put in there. I put Plex, and then file is my deploy-aci that I just configured, and then that will run for a few minutes unless we messed up the command. Oh, it should be 2 minuses. There we go. All right, when that's done, it's going to give you an output. What you want to do is copy the IP it gives you, and then open up a browser, and then paste that in and add the port 32400. All right, mine wasn't loading. I just had to wait a few minutes, and then it loaded. So I'm going to sign in with my Plex account. There we go. So eventually, if you keep refreshing the page, you'll get this how Plex works. And then you gotta wait a few minutes here while Plex starts up. All right, so my Plex server had some time to warm up and it's ready to go. You give it a name, doesn't really matter. And next, that's where you want to add your library. So you'll have the movies, and then I'm gonna just add a random library here. There's nothing actually in it right now, but you can add it. And hit done. All your movies will show up here. If you want to add media to your library, you can get the Azure File Explorer and download that. I'm going to install for all users. Accept, install, next. Cool, when it's done, you can do finish, and I'm going to launch it. And since we logged in earlier with AZ connect-azaccount, all our stuff should just load up here. So I'm going to open Explorer. I'm going to drop down my account. Plex storage is the container we created. File shares, Plex, and then you can drop data into here. Here's the file I mounted, it's the library. And you can just drag and drop and it'll upload it. And that's about it. You should be good to go to run your Plex server now.